divinely guided messages for healing of the mind, the body, and the soul. Most of the time here we're talking about inner world. What can you do in your life? Usually we're taught to blame it on something outside of ourselves or lean on something outside of ourselves. We're going to fix something out there. We're going to do something about that. We're going to do something about this. Those are the things that we cannot change. Like we can move furniture around, but it won't change anything. And so the thing that we can change is going to be on our inside. And this is the most beautiful place that you have. And also, it's the most disturbing and terrifying place that you have. So, who wants to go in there with me? Yeah, let's do it. So, personal, the message today is about personal and spiritual growth. Spiritual growth and personal growth is the same thing. Like you are going within, you are trying to eliminate things that don't align with your purpose. You're eliminating things that don't align with who you want to be, who you are. It's helping you. So when you go within, you find things that trigger you, for example. So you find things that trigger you, and then you ask, why am I being so triggered by this? And then you wait for the answer, and it will be shown to you why this is such a triggering moment for you. There is your work. That's the job that you have to do next. So next on your spiritual to-do list is to work on that thing that you found. Why am I being triggered by this? And so once you start doing this work, it's like I feel we're like society has taught us to be kind of scared of the others, a little on alert, which for good reasons. But still, but still, there's the divide. There's the divide, and the divide is often just based on the labels that we call ourselves, or the rituals that we prefer over some other rituals. Now we're different than them, so now that's a fear thing, which it's really not. So the individuation, it seems like it might be a selfish thing to do. Like, why would you hang out there with yourself and think about and focus on yourself all the time? You're so selfish. And it's like, no, you're not selfish. It's a good thing. It's a great thing. Actually, it's the most rewarding thing that you can give to yourself. And once you do this work yourself, you're also giving that gift to every single person in your life. And so, individuation, I recognize others as different aspects of consciousness. And you won't know this until you find some sense of inner peace or you find that center within yourself. Now you're going to feel like you are a part. All of a sudden, you feel like you are nature. You are a part of this whole thing. It couldn't be one with the other without the other. Like you're a part of it. It's one big thing. And so once you start to realize that within yourself, you're also going to see that all these other annoying people that you know, and all those terrible people, and all those, all, I don't know, whatever we call them, all those people out there, they are also a part of the same consciousness. And once I understood this in my life, it became easier to ignore them, and it became easier to not pay them any attention. You can see what they're doing, but don't allow it to sway how you feel about your life, how you feel about yourself. Other people are on their journey too. Like I am on my soul's journey, my spiritual journey, my spiritual personal journey is I've spent a lot of time on it, so I've come pretty far in the things that I've learned and the things that God has shown me along the way. A lot of people, though, they're not. They're still in their lower vibrational energy. They're still hopping around in all the basics, kind of being disconnected. I like this, they like that, so we're different. They're hopping around in a lower energy, a lower awareness state, which is nothing wrong with it. I've been there. I've been doing all of that stuff, and then I realized that this doesn't do any good. And so I learned from it, and then you move up. And so you move up and you move up. You don't really move up. You eliminate belief systems, you eliminate emotions, you eliminate things that trigger you. You eliminate these things on the inside that is holding you back from the vision of the person that you know that you can be in your mind. The higher self, because your higher self will always speak to you and it will pull you. So this is like you're being pulled, and listen to that. So this, and then once you understand that everybody is on their own spiritual journey somewhere along the journey. Like Joe might be down here, but Sandy, she's over there. And so they're going to be on different paths, different levels. She might understand him better than he understands her, because he's going to see her as something, I don't know. I don't know. And so the difference is going to be big, though. So they won't be able to kind of align with each other from there. So when you understand that everybody is on their own soul's path, their own soul's journey, it becomes easier to accept the things that they do, not well, accept it, and just like, okay, people do stupid stuff when they're in stupid places. And so it comes easier to move on from it, I guess. And then so everybody is journeying in their own pace, at their own pace. So the trick is to not compare yourself too much to the others, because it's really irrelevant. Like whatever, it doesn't matter. If you have the same coat as she does, then so. Or if you have the same car as they do, like so. Or if you weigh the same as that person, okay. And then, or if you eat the same things that they do, oh, okay. Okay, do you like the food? Or like, you bring it back into like what you need. What is your purpose here on this planet Earth? How can you like find your inner truth and be authentic with yourself? What is your spiritual path? Not comparing it to the others, but more like, okay, yesterday I feel like I was slacking a little bit. I lost my focus real quick. And so now today I'm going to try and stay more focused over a longer period of time. I'm going to try and be more specific in my messages. I'm going to try. So there are things that I did yesterday that maybe today I can be a better version of myself and do it a little bit better, so that it has better effect on the message, like the people that I want to convey the message to. And so when I was a child, I was like, it was not a good place for me to be. It was very difficult. It was very challenging. It was terrifying. And it was all of that. So in my childhood, I was like, okay, if I can be this sad and it can be this hard and difficult, then probably it can be the opposite too. So for me, in my child reasoning and rationalization, I was dedicated to find the opposite of that sadness. So I was actively, from when I was a child, looking for the smile, the real smile, not the one that I just plaster on my face to be polite with everybody and be nice, but the real one, the one that starts from my belly and pops up on my face. And that decision, when I was a child, has taken me through all these twists and turns and ups and downs to find my inner happiness. And that's what I'm trying to share here in this setup, like, is how you can find also your inner happiness and make it a dedication to live playfully with a light heart, so that life becomes more playful, more fun. It's more easygoing, not so tense and dense and fearful and all that stuff. And so I acknowledge, accept, and celebrate difference as I go inward to connect with my deepest self, my truth, desires, and joy. When you find your truth, your desires, your joy, you are on the right path. This is your path only. So it might not look different. It might not look, people from the church are very upset with me because I'm using cards, because this is what God tells me to do. This is how he wants me to convey the message with this tool, which is a perfect tool because it speaks about human behavior, which is what I have been learning about in my life. But they will be very upset with me for it. They won't even listen to my content. They won't even watch it because they're so judgmental. And who is that again? The judgmental, the creating fear, creating division, creating all that. Who is doing that? That is not of God. God does not do that. God is unifying. God is love. God is sharing. God is embracing all the differences and all the truth and the desires and the joys. He wouldn't put it in your heart if it wasn't for you to follow it. A lot of that has been taken out of the church in the spiritual quest, and now it's become something that you go there and you give away your emotions, or you block them out. You don't, it's not a focus on it. Like, it's not about what you want, it's about what God wants. Well, God wants what you want. That's the secret, because he gave you your desires, your joy, your passions for a reason, so that you can live a great life and be a testament to his love. And so with that, like living playfully and with a light heart, trust your own vision. Maybe people won't get it. Maybe they won't see what you're doing. Maybe they're too closed off yet. Maybe you're too early for them to understand it. Maybe you're too far ahead on this spiritual journey for the Joes over here to understand it. Be on your spiritual journey anyway. And it can feel kind of bittersweet to be there because you're doing all this work. You're doing all the inner work. You're doing all this work. You're putting things together. You have beautiful messages. You're staying connected to the divine. You're trying to bring it out to the world so that they can learn the lessons that you have been shown throughout your journey. And so it can be bittersweet. And so and Proverbs 18:12, we say, before his downfall, a person's heart is proud. When it's all that proud, oh my gosh, I'm so proud, and then something happens that sways it off because it doesn't come from within. It's like for the others, like I'm better than you, I'm over you, I am better, I'm looking down on you, and then you find humility. So humility comes before honor. When you find humility, when you find that essence within yourself, and you can be humble, you can meet people where they're at, you can see where they're at. This is what Jesus did. Like people be like, oh, he just didn't care. He wanted to, like, we can do this for each other with washing the feet and everything. And it's just like, no, he did that because we're all humans, and he understood that. Like, we're all humans, we're all here just trying our best wherever we're at on our little great scale of spiritual journey. And he understood that, so he didn't mind doing that at all, because we're just a part of the same thing. The pride person would be like, hey, I'm Jesus, I'm not touching those feet. Gee, you've been walking around in the dirt with those. And a lot of people in the church are like that. They are like that pride. No, I'm better than you because I'm doing all this. Society loves me because I go to church every Sunday. Society loves me because I'm doing the right things. Society accepts me like this. And where is God in all of that? That's my question. If you bring God into it, perfect. There is not a ritual, there's not a way to do it with God that is wrong, because it cannot be. If it's placed on your heart like that, it's for you, it's for your journey, it fits your need, it fits your personality, and all that stuff. Sometimes though, this work, it takes time, and it can feel bittersweet because, yeah, maybe you are doing God's work and you are doing the inner work, you're doing all these things, but you don't even be accepted by the people who swear that they're holding the throne. And then so it can feel bittersweet. You're doing all this work and it doesn't really they don't want to hear it. Their ears are closed. So is it worth the effort? Is it worth the work you put in there? Yes. Keep doing what you're doing, because one way or another, you're beacon of hope. You're a light in the dark. And when you're doing this work, so keep doing it anyway. And holding on to the betrayals, like, oh my gosh, but they did that. How am I supposed to just forget about it and move on? And there's like, they've been haunting me for like years, interfering with every single attempt I've been trying to do in my life, and trying to sway everything to make it miserable. Well, miserable love company, and you can hang out with them there if you want to. You can answer them in bitterness, you can answer them with resentments, you can answer them with anger, or you can just completely ignore it. And keep doing the inner work. Keep doing the inner work. That way, you're not the one who's going to sit there with the headaches, with the anger, with the frustration, with the freaking all that, this bulging up in this pepper. You're sending it right back. And you just pray that you be protected so you can stay and remain peaceful in your life. Facades. We're trying to do so many things for the others, like with the church too. Yeah, I'm going to church every Sunday. I'm such a good person. I'm a great person. I'm doing this every time. I'm good, because that's what everybody says. The group thinking, oh, the group is so happy. The group is so happy. And then so the facade, and then maybe there's nothing you gain from it. You're sitting there for an hour and a half and you're just bored, but you feel better because you did what you're supposed to do, and now everybody's happy and accepts you. Facades come in very many different ways. With the spiritual journey and the personal journey, like if you go to church and you keep evolving, you keep growing more and more into the likeness of the image of Christ consciousness, then you are doing the work even in the church. And it can be the most beautiful space because it's quiet, it's peaceful, it's supposed to be filled with love because God is there. And so when you're there and you do the inner work and you work on your judgments, you work on the clicks that happen, you work on the feeling a little bit better than judging, all that stuff, and you work on these things. Spiritual to-do list, working on these things. Now you're doing God's work in the church, out of the church. You can do it anywhere. There's no judgment there. It's just doing the work, being a person who wants to grow, who wants to become better than what you were. Homecoming. It's about homecoming, back to self, back to who you are, back to that inner voice, back to your own soul. Homecoming, back to yourself. It's the most beautiful, it's terrifying and bittersweet journey to take, but it's the most beautiful, most confident you'll ever feel. You're never going to feel any more confident than once you come in your homecoming. Your life and your everything in your life is going to be blown out of proportions because you found your way back home to yourself. And that's what the spiritual journey is all about. And the beautiful light in me, it honors, it loves, and respects the same beautiful light in you. And until next time, namaste.